Okay, hello there. I'm Dennis. Thanks for dropping in. Today I'm in Arch Linux, but I'm running the Easy Archer. Down here at the bottom left, the image, it says Easy Archer XFCE. I have a total of 1,436 packages installed, 8 of which is Flatpak. Close this out. Today, though, we're going to talk about BlueStar Linux. BlueStar Linux over on DistroWatch says they had a new release on 8/15. Over here on where they keep the ratings, I guess you'll find BlueStar Linux rated number 33. Wow. The country of origin is Germany. It's based on Arch Linux. This is what if you click on that link, if you click on this link right here, it takes you to their projects page on SourceForge. And I can remember reading this exact verbiage 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. So it hadn't changed, and I don't know. There's no explanations, and we'll get to that. It says right here, for instance, it says it's BlueStar is offered in 3 editions: the Desktop, DeskPro, and Developer. Well, it's also got another one called Basic. They have a link on here that goes to their Facebook page. It actually lists that as their home page. The categories: BlueStar Linux right here, website. That's Facebook. If you're willing to click on a Facebook page and look at it, this is Facebook. And it might jump up and ask me to sign in, which I'm not going to do. My point is, there's not a lot of information here. Even if you go to the About, it's got 2,444 people following that, but it's really not. It doesn't tell you much. There it is. It wants me to sign in. Not going to do that. Or here it contradicts itself and adds the basic 4 distinct distributions: Desktop, Despro-Developer, and Desktop-E17, which I believe that may be the basic. I'm not sure. It doesn't say. As you'll see, it's offered in a basic, and that's the installation we're going to look at. That's what I did, the basic. It's funny, the pages, if you click on this Facebook, where was that? Here. It'll open you up to here, which is really only here and where the files are and distro. So there's not, they keep getting these updates. You know, it's Arch, so it's going to update all the time anyway, but BlueStar keeps updating. I'm not really seeing the evidence of that much here. There's no reviews. There is no wiki. It clicks on support. There is no support to Facebook. Here's that link again to Facebook. But on here, I've looked and looked. I've not seen anything that said, here's how you do it. This is what to expect. Even more peculiar, if you go to list of Linux distributions, this is a wiki, make of that what you will. It gives you a list of different based distributions. And for instance, if you go to Arch Linux based, BlueStar is not even listed here. So you can't find out a lot about them. I can't. I just, and I've searched trying to find something really good to say about them. I've actually looked at this distribution a couple times, and it is Arch Linux, and that is what drawed me to it, even though it is the KDE desktop, which I'm not a big fan of. But I can get around in it a little bit now. I know how to turn off that single click. So anyway, I've struggled to find really a whole lot good to say about BlueStar. I did set up the Arch base, or the BlueStar Basic, which is the video we're going to look at real quick. The Arch Desktop, but the Desk Pro failed 4 different times. And the only thing that I did not try to change the EFI, make it to a BIOS boot. I did also I installed boxes on this machine, right here, recently used, and tried it in there, and it still failed. So I don't know what's going on with that. The developer installed, but I don't think I got all the full function of what I would have thought would have been more. What I would have considered, or what I would have thought happened here, was the basic had X number of packages, the desktop had a few more, DeskPro a few more than that, and a developer was just inundated with software. That's what I would expect to see. But as you'll find out, or as you'll see here, I recorded the installation using simple screen recorder, and I went through it here. And we're going to say we boot into the machine and we start right here. I'm going by this timer. Let's just call it, let's see, I think I called it 35 seconds from the time I hit boot. There's no need watching that. I can just skip down it here. 1 minute and 40 seconds to boot, to go from when I pressed enter to the screen. Now I kind of expect Plasma to be slower, especially the first time you boot into a real environment. Let me go on past this. We're going to install it. It uses I'm going to change the resolution, but it uses the Calamaris installer, which you'll have the opportunity to put your name, your country, all that. But somewhere in here, this screen right here, you'll get this every time, no matter what what version you're trying to install. Make this a little bigger. And I always, on all four attempts, I would select the same one, which is called BSLX_Arch logo, BlueStar Desktop Splash Screen 2020. So I use that kind of as to see what if they all had the same, and so it would be fair that one wouldn't have this and that. But it makes not a lot of sense, because why would you set up your theming before you ever even looked at your system? And like I just showed you, there's no explanations on those web pages that they use as to what to expect. So this made no sense. If anything, we should have just went through the Calamaris, installed it, and then had a welcome screen or something of that nature that would allow you to select one of these different themings if you chose to. Let me get out of full screen here again so I can navigate a little more quickly. Actually, I think I think it may be. There we go. So the installation's starting, and it'll go a long time. You can see me scrolling over. There's my note. So eventually, after you wait long enough, you can see the timer now is 27 minutes from the time. Just say it took me 7 minutes to get set up. It's already 20 minutes into this thing. Now all of a sudden we get a little terminal dialog box. Just watch. That dialog box will just stay there. It'll run through. Let me find it here. It'll sit right there. Wait a minute. Make that bigger. It'll sit right here. 12 of 12 processes updating desktop file MIME type cache, which is important, but it just sits here. And let's see, it sat there, what, 20 minutes? 20 minutes. And I finally just said, I'm going to close that out myself. You can see my mouse on it right there. I'm fixing to just close it out. It had no instructions whatsoever. Just too bizarre. And it, I don't even know how to keep going here. It does install. This is on the reboot. Have to reboot and turn the, get rid of the ISO. There we go. So I just closed the installer, and I rebooted, or powered off, removed the ISO. Well, I actually took a note. See what that says. Reboot 11:56, 30 minutes to get to the reboot. And about half of that was sitting there waiting on that dialog box to either tell me something or close. I'm pretty patient a lot of times, but man, I just sit there and no matter where I looked, I wasn't finding any any instructions, nothing to say, okay, look at the Arch. Even if it would have just directed me to the Arch wiki, that would have been great. Or more importantly, it could have said, hey, this dialog box is going to pop up. It's going to close, or close it after so many minutes, or after you set. I don't care. It should this. And the reason why I'm so baffled about it is because I seen this same situation at least 6 months ago when I looked at BlueStar Linux then, and it's based on Arch, so you got that going for you. But you'll see here, we got a ton. Let me minimize that for now. A ton of software. Let's see. We'll just crank up the basic real quick as that's coming up. We'll look at my notes. I tried to. It said on, like I pointed out on a SourceForge page, it says there's 3 editions, but on the Facebook it lists 4, and as you see, there is 4. Let me minimize that. I got a. Yep, here we go. That was basic that we saw on the little short video. Short. This was the next one, the desktop. This was the next one, the Desk Pro, which I installed. Attempted to install 4 different times in a virtual box. The only thing I didn't try was changing it to a BIOS boot. I left that alone. If it can't boot to EFI, it's not viable for the future. And also, the Desk Pro would not install. It would if you reboot, and it would just be nothing basically but a terminal window with a background, and that was it. I could, no matter what I tried to install it in boxes, and it failed. Did the same exact thing. All right, so that was developer. I installed trying to use the developer. This is the Desk Pro package set that you're going to see. That's in that dialog box that we waited for. This is the desktop, the packages that you'll get. This is the developer, the one that you would expect to have all of the stuff in it, and it does. And that's it. So I can just close those out for now and sign in here. And it should remember my resolution. Like I said, I just struggle to try to. It hurts me to say something bad about somebody else's work, and can't say anything nice. Only thing I can say nice about it, it's based on Arch Linux, and as you're seeing right here, Plasma always takes a little while to load up, but this is probably the 4th time I've started this, so Plasma should be a little faster, but it's very slow. And as you'll see, well, it didn't even remember my resolution. All right, so you'll remember the menus up at the bar, up at the top there. Try to change my resolution. What the heck happened there? Huh. Well, I don't know what's happening. Display. Not disk free. Display. All right, let me find it manually if I can. System setting. Maybe. Should have been in the menu. Hey. Display. Wow, that was weird. You know what? It went to my 16.9. It was still working on trying to. So that was clearly my fault. But this thing up here is just aggravating. If you knew, see now it's working. That's what it was. It was trying to adjust my resolution. let's look at the menu. And transparency or opacity is good with a little bit, but as you'll see, I'm not going to be able to even read this stuff. Especially, remember, this is basic, so you still get a lot of stuff in the basic. Just the internet alone, you're getting what, 8-10 packages there. Multimedia, you're getting packages. Office, you're getting, just with the basic stuff, you're getting all kind of software that the average guy's not even going to know what it is, probably. HTOP comes in, G-Party, all the K stuff, because it is KDE Live, or KDE Live. Octopi, Package Manager. I never could get, where was that, under multimedia? K-Mix. I never could get it to open in either of the three installation versions. Lost and found, help, please donate. Let's power off. And let's look at the next one here. The desktop. And something was wrong with the developer. It installed, but it doesn't have the packages. It should have more packages than any of them. So this would be the desktop. You know, back when first time I looked at BlueStar, I remember I didn't know it until I went back and looked at the video, but you do have an option on that first installer screen to select basic, desktop, desk pro, or developer. But most people, for myself, I'm saying I didn't even see that. I just clicked next and went on to the next thing. And it was only later that I even discovered that there's not a lot of information on BlueStar Linux, and I hate that. There should be more documentation out here on the web than that. The guy shouldn't have to just go. I mean, I took probably researched probably an hour before I finally just said, hey, it's a dead end. Even with just typical Google searches, you wouldn't get a lot. You got some videos, but not, nothing specific to BlueStar other than maybe YouTube videos. Mine. No, there's others. Oh, this takes forever. Give it a second to see if it'll change the resolution. And you would think these are conkies, but these are widgets. There's 4 different widgets right there. There we go. Nice. All right. So, something up with that menu. It needs to move over. There it goes. All right. So let me click on that. And we'll see there's a little bit more. I say a little bit more. There's actually a lot more in this version. Desktop, which I think is the one that, no, now I think basic was the default option. Ocular, X video, more application, all the K stuff. GIMP. Now look at the internet. Before we had like 8 things in there. Now we got like 16 or more. Chromium, file browser, or web browser, Firefox, Conqueror. Isn't that a web browser as well? So you got 3 web browsers right there. Buddy, Skype, Thunderbird, man, multimedia. We got not a ton more stuff, but some more stuff than we had. VLC, I'm pretty sure was on the basic anyway. We do have KDE Live, which is a K product. Under Office, we got a little bit more. Under Settings, we got some more. And that opacity just bothers me. If I change this background to something bright, I can't even see most of these. Where was I? Under System, we got Control CTRL. Now I took some notes about what some of these are. Let's see if I can find them here. One thing I will say, TTF-MS fonts, or Microsoft fonts, and the Ubuntu font family came in by default. Nice. That panel at the bottom is the Latte dock. I did find an article that said I could change the opacity or transparency if I go to this config kwinrc, but I haven't even got that far yet. I don't really care, I don't think. Localize, that localize is the localization tool. Core control your hardware with ease and application profiles. Here's the one that's included in this distribution that's discontinued. It's called the gconf editor. Let's see. Find that. Wonder if I could just go GCON. Yep, configuration editor. And it's outdated. It's not even maintained anymore. It's probably a great little program. But when I read that, I thought, well, it's discontinued. How up to date can it be? But like I said, if it still works, it works. So under basic, I got 1,500 packages. Under desktop, I got 1,800 packages. DeskPro, I never found out because it wouldn't install. Developer, I don't think installed correctly because here we got 1,536 packages, even less or the same amount as the basic. So maybe I made a mistake. Maybe that's not the right figure there. So take that with a grain of salt. Try it out yourself and see what you got. They all come with Yay installed. All come with 525.4. The Plasma KMix wouldn't open up on any of those. It does default to X11. However, in the boot screen, you do have the option to change to Wayland. I didn't do that, so I can't report on whether or not that works. I can say that X11 apparently works if you wait about an hour after installing it. All right, so please donate. See, we got that right here. And we also got it right here. Oops, I double clicked it. Dang it. Temperature over here. So you got a lot of stuff running that would be unnecessary to me. And if you was using this as a production machine, you wouldn't want all that stuff running anyway. Firefox is already running. Okay. Let's turn that off. Close. Wow. Oh, can I move it? Enter. Oh, I can remove it. Come on, dude, because that's what was there. But I think I might can move it. Should be able to move it. Get it out of the middle there. I like little Arch Linux. Left click's not working like it should. All right. So there's your menu up there. I'm gonna go ahead and close out. That's about all I can say about BlueStar Linux. If you're looking for a bloated system with everything on it so you don't have to search or learn anything and you just want to see what applications are available in a KDE or Plasma by KDE or however that is, then this would be a great distribution because it has not everything, but it has a lot. So this would be a great distribution. If I was a KDE guy and I wanted to know more about it, this, like I said, this would be great. I would search this. I would open up every one of these programs, do research on it. And by the time I ended, I would know or have a pretty good idea about what software was called using KDE and what I might need or might not need. Let me close this out. Don't save it ever again. All right, so I'll make sure these links get in the notes below. If, like I said, if you want to try BlueStar Linux, I mean, this right here would be the only enticement I could understand, is not the Arch Linux part of it, because if you're doing this, you need to be familiar with Arch Linux anyway. I'm saying that if you want to look and see what programs are and what they do, maybe use this as a starting spot to find out what those things do. And who knows? I mean, this thing might work flawlessly when actually in a working situation. I can't attest to that. I can attest to what I see in a virtual box and the lack of what I see in their Well, thanks. I'm going to close them out. I just, no more to say about it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Like I said, if you want to try KDE, let's put it that way. If you want to try KDE, Plasma Desktop, this would be a great starting spot. That's what I would do, I think. When I decide ever to go to KDE, I'll probably look back at BlueStar and put it on a machine and start learning. Thanks, guys. Peace out. Bye.